Good morning. This is our materials for today that is about the reading text or reading exercise. With the title of the text that you need to read for today is Engineering Achievement in the Early Civilizations. That will be about the Mesopotamians. So what do you have in mind about engineering achievement? What kind of achievement is it? So achievements here means pencapaian in bahasa. So what would be the first engineering achievement of the world? That's why we need to read this text that is about the engineering achievement in the early civilizations. Civilization here means peradaban, and then this is the first civilizations of the world, and then we have the Mesopotamians. Have you ever heard about Mesopotamia or Mesopotamians? Mesopotamia is the area, and then the Mesopotamians with ans and s is actually the people. So have you heard about Mesopotamia or the people of Mesopotamia called Mesopotamians? Please have a look at this one. The next one is what do you know about this part? Um, this is the map of Mesopotamia. Yeah, where is it? Where is it? This one is Mesopotamia, and then you have this one, Tigris and Euphrates rivers. I think that you have been very familiar with these two rivers, yeah, because they have been mentioned in the history subject, perhaps in your junior and senior high school, I think. The next one is you have Mesopotamia and then the famous city of Iraq called Baghdad, right? So Mesopotamia now is currently the country of Iraq, right? The next one is please have a look at the engineering achievement of Mesopotamia. This is the building. If you have ever known about hanging gardens or ziggurat, taman gantung, and so on, and then this is the picture of the temple. Now let's have a look at the city. Let's have a look at the picture of the city of Mesopotamia. From this picture, what do you have in mind about the city of Mesopotamia? In these early civilizations, you have the city like this. So what do you think about the civilizations there? Do you think that it has been very advanced, or it was still a poor civilization? Please think of this one, because you have ziggurat or the temple like this. This is the city walls. And then what do you think about the river, the use of the river? And what do you think about the conditions of the city like this one? Let's read the text. The text entitled Engineering Achievement in the Early Civilizations, that is the Mesopotamians. So the first sentence of this text is significant engineering achievements have been made by the ancient dwellers of Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates River, currently the country of Iraq. I think that this sentence is quite long, right? So we can break down this sentence into several short and simple sentences. The first one is please check the subject of the sentence, like what you have last week, I think. Yeah, you have significant engineering achievement, right? The main things that is being discussed here is the main noun of the subject, that is achievement, right? Pencapaian. What kind of achievement? Engineering achievement. What do you think about what the writers think about the engineering achievements? It is significant. So significant engineering achievements have been made. Do you know who made the achievement? Significant engineering achievements have been made by ancient dwellers of Mesopotamia. what is the meaning of dwellers here? Dwellers here means a person or animal that lives in or at a specified place, or we can say penduduk in bahasa. The next one is you have the clause of Mesopotamia, and then you have comma and then comma. It means that between these two commas, you will have the additional description or explanations about what is Mesopotamia. So Mesopotamia is actually the land between the Tigris and Euphrates River. And then you have the second additional information about Mesopotamia is Mesopotamia is currently the country of Iraq. Have you got the idea? So if you have double comma, yeah, it will be the additional informations about the last noun before comma. So Mesopotamia means the lands between the Tigris and Euphrates River. And then the second one you have Mesopotamia is currently the country of Iraq. The next one is in this area the wheel cart was found. What do you think about this wheel cart? Cart is kereta, right? And then wheel is roda, right? So you have the wheel cart. Actually, what is the meaning of et here? Yeah, why do we have wheel plus et and then cart? Because a wheel cart is actually wheel cart. The main noun is cart, right? Not the wheel. Kereta. Kereta is the main noun. So cart, a cart which is wheeled. Kereta yang beroda. So that's why, because we have ber or which is here, yeah, you need to remember the construction of the passive, that is to be plus verb 3. Okay, so you have a card which is wheel. And then to make these phrases to be short, so you need to put wheel before card because wheel is actually the additional information of the card. So the main noun will remain at the end of the noun clause or the noun phrase. So you will have a card which is wheel, and then the shorter form is a wheel card. The next one is, in southern Mesopotamia at the beginning of recorded history, the ancient Sumerian people constructed canals, temples, and city walls that comprise the world's first engineering works. So you have here the context of the place that is in southern Mesopotamia, and then you have comma. The next explanations or additional information about the context of the sentence is at the beginning of recorded history. You need to remember that recorded history has the same pattern like the wheel card in the previous slide. So you have a recorded history here. The main noun is history. And then, so you need to put there history. Put the noun history. History which is recorded, right? You can have also here history which was recorded. We don't matters about the tenses, but the main thing is about the to be plus verb 3 as the form of the passive, right? Because we have the reduced clause here becomes recorded. We put it at the beginning of the noun phrase, followed by the main noun that is history. So we have record history means history which was or which is recorded is also okay, right? The next one is we go to the main noun or the main sentences started with the subject. You have the subject is the ancient Sumerian people constructed canals. So the subject is the ancient Sumerian people. The main noun is people. What kind of people? Sumerian people. So what do you think about what the writer thinks about Sumerian people? It is ancient. They constructed canal. What happened to the ancient Sumerian people? They constructed canals, temples, and city walls. So you have the predicate here is constructed, verb 2, and then it is simple past tense. So the next one is what are the what were the Sumerian people constructed? The first one is canals like this. And then you have temples, okay, behind this one. And you have city walls like this one that comprise the first engineering works. So according to this sentence, what were the first engineering works? Karya bidang engineering yang pertama apa saja dari kalimat ini? So you can see that you have canals, temples, and city walls. From this sentence, we can conclude that the oldest, what I mean is the oldest engineering branch is actually civil engineering. And what do you think about telecommunication engineering? Do you think that it is a new engineering branch, or what do you have in mind about that one? Let's have a look at this map. Where is Mesopotamia? So you have the land of Mesopotamia was open to attack from the north, east, and west. You have the land of Mesopotamia, and then they have the neighboring peoples, right? And its history is a confused record of conquest and occupations by neighboring peoples. So actually they have, because the conditions of the land of Mesopotamia, they were open to attack from north, east, and west. So, and its history is a confused records. So you have records yang membingungkan, records which was confused, of conquest, penjajahan, and occupations by neighboring peoples. Peoples here because you have S, people with S means suku. Yeah, so many suku, right? Neighboring peoples, suku-suku tetangganya. The most prominent rulers of ancient Mesopotamia were the Babylonians and the Assyrians. So, what can you conclude from this last sentence? The most prominent rulers, ya, pemimpin dari ancient Mesopotamia yang paling terkenal, most prominent, were the Babylonians and the Assyrians. Do you think that the Babylonians and Assyrians were the native people of Mesopotamia? Or do you think that Babylonians and Assyrians were the neighboring people that conquered and occupied Mesopotamia? Please think of this one. Because this sentence, this paragraph talks about the conditions of Mesopotamia that was open to attack from north, east, and west, and the history is about conquest and occupation, so that we can infer or we can conclude that the Babylonians and the Assyrians were the neighboring peoples who conquered and occupied Mesopotamia. Next, we have these two pictures. Yeah, we have clay tablets. Yeah, tablets is like capsule or what you have in mind about tablets, but it makes from clay, tanah liat. And then on the clay tablets, you have records. This is not records, but it must be pronounced as records. Records is the noun, record is the verb. Record is rekaman atau catatan. Record is merekam atau mencatat. Inscribe, it means that it being, what is it? Dipahat. Records inscribed on clay table have been discovered. These records provide information on the life in that area thousands of years ago. These records show that as early as 2000 BC, before Christ, a device called the astrolabe was being used for astronomical observations. You have these records, show as early as 2000 BC. So it was about 4000 years ago. And then a device called the astrolabe was being used for astronomical observations. The device was used to measure angles, sudut. This instrument which was based on the 16 numerical system used by the Mesopotamians. So it consists of 60 unit numerical system used by the Mesopotamians. The next one is it consisted of a graduated circle and a sighting arm. Can you guess what is it? You have a circle and then the circle is graduated. Yeah, the circle which was graduated. Graduated here doesn't mean lulus, but it is divided into levels. So the circle has the first, second, third level, and so on. And then a sighting arm means jarum penunjuk. Can you guess what is it? A circle that which is graduated into 16-unit numerical system. And this system has been retained in time and angle measurement to the present day. So this is actually like what you have as our clock currently. So in one, please have a look at your clocks. You have, what is it? Sighting arm, and then you have a circle, and you have 60 minutes, right? And then the 60 minutes, and then you have 24 hours, right? So please have a look at this one. This is actually the astrolabe. Yeah, so you have the astrolabe like this. Yeah, this is the circle, and then this is the graduated circle. This is the first, second, third, fourth, and so on. And then the last one is you have 1 to 12, and then 1 to 12. It means that this is AM, and then this one PM. So one day consists of 12 hours AM and 12 hours PM, right? The next one is this is sighting arm. This is actually the first clock that we have, right? The next one, it can also be used to measure angles, to measure angles to set the dates and months. Because usually we have if we want to have the Idul Fitri, usually we have Hilal, right? Hilal must be greater than 4 degrees so that tomorrow we will have Idul Fitri, like that one. So actually the angle of the horizons, and you have the moon, sorry, will determine the date and month. So the next one is an astrolabe is a device used to measure angle. The next one, you have the most unusual class of structure led by the Mesopotamian was the ziggurat. Ziggurat is this one. This is a ziggurat. Ziggurat is a temple tower built in honor of their gods. temple tower built in honor of their gods. Jadinya adalah temple tower menara, ya, menara kuil yang dibuat untuk memuja dewa-dewa. So, what do you think about the ziggurat, the construction of the ziggurat? The ziggurat was a terraced pyramid of brick with staircases. This one is staircases, and then setbacks like this one. It is like teras, lalu ada kemunduran sedikit, itu namanya setbacks. And then a shrine or chapel at the top. So you have here a shrine of chapel at the top, tempat pemujaan at the top. The Tower of Babel, mentioned in the Old Testament, is believed to have been this type of structure. I think that for those who are Christian and Catholics, I think that you are very familiar with the Tower of Babel, right? Mentioned in the Old Testament, Perjanjian Lama, is believed to have been this type of structure. So Tower of Babel is related with the history of um, different languages of the world. It was said in the Old Testament that the king of Babylonians, yeah, Namrud or Nimrod in English, is was trying to make the highest building of the world to reach the sky. And the purpose of making or building the Tower of Babel is to prove that the king of Mesopotamians or the Namrud itself can be the god of the world. But the construction of the Tower of Babel was never finished because the people who worked there, who worked as the in the construction of the Tower of Babel, they suddenly have different languages so that they cannot communicate each other. Because they cannot communicate, so that the Tower of Babel never been finished. And the people who have different languages there were migrated to the neighboring lands, including Egypt, Arab, and Yunani. Yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong about the history of the Tower of Babel, because I think that those who are Christian and Catholics may know much more history about this, because I do not know exactly about the content of the Old Testament. The next one is, please have a look at the Hammurabi. I think that this the most famous king of Mesopotamia was Hammurabi. Why? Let's see. Hammurabi was the great king. Hammurabi ruled Babylonia for 43 years. It was about 1850 to 1750 before Christ. Hammurabi compiled a comprehensive new code of law that bears his name. The famous code provided penalties for those who permitted poor construction practices, and is considered to be a forerunner of today's building codes, sebagai pelopor. Jadi, so Hammurabi compiled the new law, and then the law is the forerunner for today's building codes. Why? Because it aims to provide the quality assurance of construction practices. And it also deals with the professional responsibility and exacted extremely severe penalties for each branch. Dan dia memberikan penalti atau hukuman yang benar-benar berat dari masing-masing cabang kesalahan yang ada. Let's have a look at the content of the Code of Hammurabi. If a builder build a house and do not make its construction firm, what? And the house he has built collapse and make the death of the owner of the house, that builder should be put to death. To death. So if the building was collapsed and make the death of the owner, ya, jika the ownernya mati, maka the builder should be put to death also. Okay, one life for another one life. If it caused the death of the son of the owner of the house, they shall be put to death a son of the builder. If the son, so you will have also the son of the builder that should be put to death. Do you think that it is uh, okay? Do you think that this is good? Please check. If it caused the death of the slave of the owner of the house, we shall give the owner of the house a slave of equal value. Please neglect the grammatical errors here in the Code of Hammurabi, because this is actually the translation atau terjemahan kasar from the original Code of Hammurabi. So it will neglect the grammar. Just think deeply about the meaning. Yeah, if it destroy property, he shall restore whatever he destroyed. And because he didn't make the house which he built firm and it collapsed, he shall rebuild the house which collapsed at his own expense. So it is like ganti rugi, right? The next one is if a builder build a house for a man and do not make its construction meet the requirement, tidak sesuai dengan ketentuan atau persyaratan atau kualitas, and a wall fall in, that builder shall strengthen the wall at his own expense. Jadi, so it needs to repair or strengthen the wall at his own expense, the builder's own expense. The next one is about the another engineering achievement of the Mesopotamians. It is not surprising that people who populated the Tigris and Euphrates rivers developed significant irrigation and flood control works. Why the authors said that it is not surprising? Because we previously know that Mesopotamians at that time have a significant engineering achievement like temples or ziggurat, canals, city walls, and so on. So that it is not surprising that people of Mesopotamians also developed significant irrigation and flood control works like this one. This one is irrigations, right? This is the river, and then you have irrigations. Yeah, and also because they have canals, so they have the further or the improved buildings to control works. So you have here the picture of the canal. Today in Iraq, evidence of abandoned canals can still be traced by lines and embankments, riverbank like this, lakes and streams. The now one is a 400-foot wide canal extended generally parallel to the Tigris River over a distance of 200 miles, irrigating an area averaging 18 miles in width. So the now one is actually canal. What about the size of the now one? The size is a 400-foot wide. And then what was the place? The place is on the Tigris River. And then the size also over a distance of 200 miles. What was the function of the Narwan? The function was for irrigating an area for about 18 miles in width. The next one, after we have the canals, we have also imposing masonry dams were used by the Mesopotamians to divert small tributaries into canals. Tributaries means aliran sungai kecil, ya. And then aliran sungai kecil dikumpulkan menjadi dikumpulkan atau diarahkan menuju kanal. Lalu oleh kanal diarahkan atau disalurkan menuju dams. Ya, this is actually the example of the first public water supply that was developed by the Mesopotamians. This is also considered as the most prominent engineering achievement in the early civilizations. So you have during the reign of King Sennacherib, and then the Assyrians completed the first notable example of public water supply. They built a 30-mile long feeder canal bringing fresh water from the hills of Mount Tas to the existing Kosa River. So feeder canal here, yeah, need to bring fresh water, yeah, from the hill of the Mount Tas to the existing Kosa River, by which the water flowed an additional 15 miles into Nineveh. And then at Jerwan, an elevated cut-stone aqueduct was built to carry the open canal over a small stream. So you have the water from the mount pass and then go to Kosa River, right? And then after go to the Kosa River, then to Nineveh. The next one, there will be aqueduct. Aqueduct is like a jembatan, but it is not jembatan for human, but it is for water. Or you can have like selokan dalam bahasa Indonesia, but it is in the form of jembatan. So it is high, right? And then an elevated cut stone, yeah, cut stone aqueduct which was made from cut stone, and then the cut stone aqueduct was elevated. Elevated means miring dari tempat tinggi ke tempat rendah karena dari Mountas ke Coast River pastinya kan turun ya, seperti segitiga seperti ini, right? So you have a cut stone aqueduct and it is elevated, yeah. The next one is also, this famous structure was 863 feet long, 68 feet wide, and 28 feet at the highest point. It supported a channel that was approximately 50 feet long. Channel means saluran air, right? So 50 feet long, 68 feet wide, and 28 feet at the highest point. The channel salurannya itu, ya, pondasinya was underlain, diberikan pondasi by a thick layer of concrete, the first known use of this construction material. So this is actually, the channel is actually the first known of use of beton. Concrete is beton, bukan nyata ya. Okay. The next one is, after you have finished reading these texts, so you need to check the exercise on your handout. So you need to have to complete the reading comprehension question. This is essay, and then please write down your answer on the Word file, and then please attach the assignment on the Google Classroom. The deadline is today at 2 p.m. right? And then for the construction of paragraph, I think that you can use my previous explanations. Yeah, the construction of paragraph here is that meaning like you have a long and complex sentences, and you need to break down the complex sentences based on its ideas. For example, is like Mesopotamia is the land between Tigris and Euphrates River, and then you have the Mesopotamia is currently the country of Iraq. So you need to construct the paragraph using the simple sentences. They are simple sentences that tells each ideas mentions on the sentence. Next one is I want you to write a story. This is a free story based on your own imaginations. Yeah, from the Code of Hammurabi. So you can write any story based on your understanding and your imaginations about the Code of Hammurabi. You can have also the drama or a short fictions. It's also okay. Yeah. But you need to mention one content of the Code of Hammurabi. One content, for example, if uh, the building was collapsed and then the builder must rebuild the building using his own expense and so on. So it is free. Because I want to know about the your writing ability actually. The next one is for our next week, yeah, for our next week we will have tests. Okay, because next week is actually our midterm test, right? You will not have weekly assignment for this week because I will send you the feedback from your from your assignment, yeah, from your sentence structure assignment, and also for your assignment this one. What your so I will send you the feedback in the form of video recording or recording material like this, yeah, for each students. Yeah, I will review your sentence structure analysis. And then the next one is you will have a reading test. The reading test that will be tested next week is the Mesopotamians. So you will have exactly the same paragraph, but you will have the test in the form of multiple choices. Yeah, via Google form. Next one is after you finish the reading and sentence structure test, we will have the live session via Zoom for next week. Yeah, so I will spend my time around 1 minute or the maximum will be 2 minutes for each students. Yeah, I will give you one picture and you need to describe the picture. Yeah, using your own words. Yeah, so it will be like the speaking one, but you need to use simple past tense or verb two, like what you have in the Mesopotamian text. Okay, and then just read the picture. Just describe the picture in 1 minute. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you. Good luck for your assignment.